Great morning. Great day for football, as my old coach Tom Reed used to say, in Miami of Ohio. Every day is a great day for football. So, what questions you have? Who started off?
What are you most happy about with your team?
Normally Jameson would start it off, but you don't get to do that anymore.
That's right. 18 years from now, when you're on your next team, I'll be able to start.
Right.
Yeah. What are you most happy about what the team accomplished in free agency?
I think we started establishing, I think, kind of what we're going to be about as a football team. You know, free agency, it's about opportunity. You know, you try to build where you can, when you can, with what opportunity presents itself. You can't decide what's going to be available. You can't determine what options are going to be there for you. So the options that are there, that fit, that make the most sense, as Ozzie used to always say, the right player at the right price, that fits what we're trying to do. That's what we tried to do. I thought we did a really good job of it. It's still a work in progress for sure, but I'm really happy with the job. I really pleased with the way it operated. I thought Joe was great. His group was great. Brandon was amazing. Dawn was great. We just got a really good working group of people in there, and I thought we operated at a really high level.
Were you nervous about how that was going to play out? Because you just have people who've never worked together.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder. It's new. That's probably the biggest thing. It's new for the first time, but I wasn't nervous about it at all because we've been interacting for months, a couple months, and planning and talking. I saw the operation. I saw the way they had prepared. I thought the preparation was at a really, really high level, very detailed, and they were ready. They knew the players and they knew the values. And that's where you have to start.
What about Isaiah? Did you like and want to bring here? Yeah,
I mean, Isaiah Likely's a guy. I've had him now for 4 years, and have a great relationship. Have seen him in every kind of circumstance. So, it's really a valuable thing to know players. It's one of the things about your own players and why it's so important to try to keep the players that you have on your roster if you can, and we'll try to do that with the Giants as going forward. But Isaiah's a guy that I'd coach personally, and a lot of the coaches on our staff had coached personally, so we knew him. Not just him, but the other guys too. So he's going to bring a lot to the table. He's a talented football player. He's a playmaking football player. He's going to make plays for us. I think Jackson's going to really like him running the routes and being in his line of vision. He's got a big catch radius. He can make plays after he makes a catch. He can get upfield. He can make people miss. He can run people over. He's a very good perimeter blocker. You'll see that. That'll be good for our run game. So all those things he brings to the table.
You had him for those 4 years in Baltimore, right? You never had over 500 yards receiving. You obviously invested a lot in him here, so you're expecting him to evolve into a bigger role.
Of course.
What makes you think? What have you seen that makes you think that's possible and he's capable of doing that?
Right, that's what I've seen. I've seen him every day in practice. I've seen him make plays. I know how he plays the game. So you try to kind of create a vision for a player. What do you think they're capable of doing? And one thing that we always have tried to do is see what players can do. Not so much concerned about what they don't do, what they haven't done, what they can't do, what can they do. And when you see a player do it every day, you got a pretty good idea what he's capable of. So I'm certain he's going to be able to put up the numbers you're talking about, the stats. That wasn't part of the thing in Baltimore just because of the supporting cast, so to speak. And it's going to be big here. And Theo's a big part of that too. Let's not forget. You're going to put 2 tight ends out there that are pretty special, very talented players together. It's exciting.
What's your feeling about where the offensive line stands right now?
I think the offensive line is like our team. It's a work in progress. The whole team is a work in progress still. We don't play until September. We have a lot of work to do, but the offensive line and defensive line, I think we talked about it right from day one. That's where games are won and lost. It's where it starts. We've got to try to build the best offensive line and the best defensive line in football. That's got to be our goal. Maybe it's a one-year proposition, maybe it's not. We're going to find out. But we're going to sure try. We're going to try to be the best in football on both sides this year. But we've got work to do in there. We still have free agency available to us. We still have the draft. And we also have really good players already. Really good players that are going to play really well, that we're going to get ready to play really well. So very optimistic about both sides of the lines.
When you say how important it is, I think fans are probably surprised that wasn't a spot you guys have really invested in. So why not a bigger investment there so far?
Well, we just haven't had an opportunity yet. You've got to kind of it's like golf, and I usually have a lot of bad shots in golf. Like I'm behind trees and in the woods and stuff. practiced all the tough shots, and really it just wasn't available to us yet for the parameters that we're built. I mean, you can overpay, but you can't afford it a lot of times. We wanted to be smart and we wanted to be efficient in how we did it, and we're still going to continue to do that because you're also building for long term.
You brought back Evan and Josh. What did you see from them?
I'm excited about those two guys. You watch them really from the beginning. I mean, I remember back as far back as the draft process. Those two players were guys that we felt really good about in Baltimore. We had them highly graded, and they haven't broken through yet. But why can't they? What George Bernard Shaw, said, some men see things as they. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Some men. Let me make sure I get this right. Some men see things as they are, and they ask why. We see things as they aren't, and ask why not. And that's what I kind of say with those two guys. I could have said that better, but you get the point, right? Why not? I mean, why not? Why not give them an opportunity? They're motivated. They came in the office, they sat down, and they laid out a plan and a vision for what they want to accomplish and the type of players they want to be. And they showed us what they're doing to make that happen right now. So let's give them a shot. Let's give them an opportunity. They're talented. They're tough. They want to be great. They have dreams. They have big dreams. So if they're going to dream big, I'd like them to do it right here in our building and try to realize those dreams with us. And we'll give them a shot to do that.
You have an opportunity to build your offense and what you want now. We know what you have on defense. What offense do you want with this quarterback? Because you've talked a lot about building around Jaxson.
Yeah, I mean, I want a high-powered offense. I want an offense that scores a lot of points, protects the football, is efficient, is effective, is in sync with all three phases, So what does that mean? Well, it means you build around the players that you have for sure. And so it starts with building a system that is going to be it's going to be elegant and enough to handle all the complicated things that go with attacking defenses nowadays, but simple enough where the players can operate it, in action, in battle, in the heat of battle, just like that in a real effective way. And it's going to be built around what the guys do well. So the good thing about one of the many great things about Jaxson Dart is he does so many things so well. I mean, he can live in a lot of different worlds. And if you've watched the offenses that we've had over the last many number of years, it's built around a lot of different elements. And there's a lot of different elements that Jaxson can play in. We can talk power run, drop back pass, quarterback-driven stuff, RPOs, quick ball out type of completions. He can throw the ball downfield. He can throw it off a play action. I'm not sure what he really can't do, So we're going to try to live in those different worlds and see how it fits all the other guys on the offense.
You mentioned the defenses today. It seems like the three linebackers on the field is getting away. It's a lot of smaller guys. It's speed. It's fast. With you putting the emphasis on getting Isaiah and you're still having Theo prioritizing a run game, do you see like the return almost of bully ball in a way where it's get big and physical and use that to beat up on kind of the defenses that are going a little smaller?
Sure, I do think that. I think it's part of it. Not just that. You don't want to live in just that world. You want to put defenses in conflict as much as you possibly can. You want to be able to get big, and if they want to respond accordingly, then you want to be able to play fast with your big guys. Or you want to maybe you get a little lighter out there. Maybe you put 11 personnel out there, but you set up schemes where they get too light. Then you get bully on them and you come after them. You see like Tyler Rams play, for instance. So, but we don't want to live in one world. We want to try to live in all those different worlds, game to game, series to series, even play to play, and try to keep people off balance as much as we can.
You just listed all those things that Jaxson can do, but obviously a lot of quarterbacks make a leap year one to year two. Is there something you've identified, like I want to see him improve this, or what is it that he can do?
Oh yeah, there's so many things. We've had those conversations. I mean, obviously with Matt and with Brian, we've had coaches that have studied him. We've had a chance to talk to those guys, and everybody would pretty much tell you the same thing that Jaxson actually talks about, which is the fundamental things. Let's keep working on the basics. The biggest growth that a young athlete's going to make is in doing the little things well over and over again. So, it's one thing to do the little things well, like in a drill or in a practice. It's another thing to take the little things, do them well in the biggest moments. That's more of a challenging thing. I think anybody that's ever played any kind of sport understands that. So, the ability to take those fundamental things and carry them forward when it means the most. That's probably the next step for a quarterback, especially. And I fully expect him to make that leap.
Is it a coincidence that with your background in special teams that there's a new punter, there's a new long snapper, and potentially there's certainly a new kicker?
Right. I would say it's no coincidence. Yeah. It's important. And your special teams are more than just your kicker, your punter, and your snapper, but they're definitely the focus, And if they're not doing well, then you're not going to be good on special teams. So we've always been really good in those three areas, and it's something that we're going to need going forward with the Giants. It's going to be important for our team. I'm very confident in the guys we have right now. I think they're going to do exceptionally well. Very excited about those guys.
You talked about the expectation here with your program being to be able to win and do it like immediately, right? What makes you think now that you've gone through free agency and you've gotten to this point that you can do that quickly, like in year one, considering where the team's been in the organization?
Yeah, we have really good players, and we have really good coaches, and the league is a lot tighter than what you might think. It's a tight margin proposition, and every game is close. And I think if you watch pretty much every game in the National Football League, there aren't too many games that aren't really close and aren't decided at the end one way or the other. Sometimes it's making a play, sometimes it's a sack, sometimes it's a batted ball, sometimes it's a catch, sometimes it's a throw. Look at the Bears. I mean, how many late game miracles did they pull off? And those are tight margin type of deals. So we want to win. We want to win in all those tight margins, and the expectation should always be to win the game. So our expectation is always going to be every game we go into to win. Every single game, we're going to plan on going in to win that game. So, our plan then, therefore, is to win every game. And I'm pretty sure if we win every game, we're going to make the playoffs, right? My math is right. So that's what we're going to try to do, and we're going to prepare that way. We're going to meet that way. We're going to lift that way. We're going to talk ball that way. We're going to do everything we can as a team to make that happen.
John, how do you coach a team to finish? The Giants last year obviously did very well in a lot of points of games, but not at the end.
Right.
How do you coach that into a team?
I think that's a great question. It's every single team asks that question every single day, and that's what you got to find. And we lived it. We've lived it for 18 years. We lived it for 28 years in the National Football League. Finding a way to win a game in the fourth quarter. There's a reason that high school teams put the 4 up, in the fourth quarter. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. If that would make a difference, we would be doing it. But you've got to build a team that has what it takes to find a way to make plays in the fourth quarter. And like all those plays that we just mentioned are the types of plays that get made that make the difference. And we got to find a way to do that. We got to scheme it that way. We've got to practice that way. We've got to get in training camp and understand there's an opportunity at the end of practice when you're fatigued, when you're tired. There's an opportunity there to build into your own game individually the ability to play fundamentally solid football, which is playmaking football, when you're fatigued. Because the good news is you're tired, he's tired too. You're both tired, okay? Who's more tired? I don't know. Who's in better shape? Or who's more mentally prepared for that moment, and then guys got to come through because, like Clarence Brooks, our old D-line coach, said many years ago, the game has been, and always will be about the players. It's the players' opportunity to go make plays, and we want to encourage them to believe in themselves that when those moments arise, that they're prepared to go make that play, and when the time comes, go for it. Go for it. Go make that play. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't be worried. There's no time for anxiety. You can worry about things tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough worries of its own. Let's try to live in this moment right now and see if we can make a play to win a game.
John, any thoughts on Flacco still making it?
Amazing. He's one of a kind. Joe Flacco. That's my guy. I love him. And Bengals, they got him.
So what makes him tick? What makes him go?
Maybe the thing about Joe that makes him go the most is Joe knows how to pace himself. I think Joe's been pacing himself nicely. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He keeps it even. But underneath, there's like this simmering competitor. The outward calm. Underneath, he's got this competitive nature, I think, that he's just never going to. You're going to have to throw him out. It's going to be the type of deal. When he's done, he's going to have 2 more years. And he'll probably play for 2 more years.
Surprised at what he's doing?
Nah, he's playing great. We had to play against him last year. I was nervous. He was coming into Baltimore last year, to beat his old team. And you know what? He was fully capable of doing it. But it didn't happen.
You talked about the free agency process. How has the draft process been now with everybody in the scouts? And this is the first time around with this group.
It's been excellent. It's been fantastic, and we're getting ready. And it's going to be a big day, and we're all going to be we're going to be ready. We're going to be we'll try not to be too anxious so we can make the right call, make the right play when it counts. But I'm very impressed. I'm very excited. The conversations are ongoing. The film study, the Zoom interviews, everything we're doing, we'll have all the information we need. And then we're just going to have to make a decision, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you feel you've done enough in free agency to kind of go into the draft not desperate, you know what I mean, not we need this, that you can kind of just do an honest appraisal, pick the right guy, not guides for the player in need or something?
Yes, absolutely. And that's probably the main thing. You don't want to go to the buffet table hungry, right? And I think we're in good position where we don't. We don't have to chase any specific need, but at the same time we understand we still have needs. So that's going to be a factor. It's definitely going to be a factor in what we do.
Hey, John, how much do you balance since you've been around so long, just the length of time that you've been around, versus letting the people who, strategize when it comes to the draft stay in their roles? Because you obviously have a plethora of experience and you've seen a lot, and there are people who are specializing their roles when it comes to the draft.
Probably the whole key right there, to anything you do. It's a new world, and I guess it's age of specialization. It's like medicine or anything else, but football, it's simple in a lot of ways, but it's complicated in many ways. And there are a lot of roles, there's a lot of jobs, a lot of duties, and you better have great people around you. We do. You better have people that really care, who work hard, who know what they're doing, and then you got to trust them. And I really believe that we've always done a good job of that, and I'm really excited about the people in New York and how well they do their jobs, and I'm looking forward to that day. I'm looking forward to those 3 days. I can't wait to see it unfold.
John, I know a player that's kind of resurfaced back in the news because he did some impressive things in that flag event. Odell Beckham, you worked with him for a year. Is that something you guys are planning to want to explore, a potential reunion here in New York with him?
Yeah, well, I mean, the obvious pat answer would be you look at every option, right? And if Odell's an option, then we'll be looking at it for sure. And he and I do talk, and we do text, and we've maintained a really great relationship. He's one of my very favorite people in the world. So it's not like you don't talk to guys about things like that, and certainly we have. We'll just have to see where it all goes. What's best for him, what's best for the Giants. That's the number one thing. It is what's best for our team, and any player. If he helps you be a better team, and can make you better, then you're going to pursue that. So we'll just have to see where that goes.
You were the top of an active coaching cycle this offseason. Does your deal push forward the entire coaching fraternity, or to what degree do you think your deal has an effect on the rest of the group?
I have no idea. It's a great question. I just haven't really thought about that at all. I don't know.
So, run defense has been like a pain point here for a couple of years. How do you think that's improved to this point?
Well, we're going to find out.
Do you think it has, I guess? I
think it has, but I still think we're a work in progress. We haven't even taken the field yet, for a workout, So stopping the run is not the easiest thing in the world. And, we've had great success most of the time, but we've also had moments where we didn't do very well. And we just think it's really important. And I've told a lot of our guys, it's really a big deal, And on our sideline, sometimes they'll complete a pass down the sideline. Sometimes we call it the red line over there on the edge, and they'll throw a ball up to a T. Higgins or Chase or somebody, and they'll make a play. And sometimes you just have to, they're covered. And sometimes you have to just shrug your shoulders and go, all right, that's a 25-yard gain. We'll just have to line up and play again. We can live with that. But they run the ball for 4 yards. They run the ball for 5 yards. That is the end of the world. That's a disaster. And if it breaks out past that, then we can't even breathe. That's how we feel about stopping the run. We want the run stopped. We want the run stoned. We don't want it going anywhere because we want to make them one-dimensional. And we want our pass rushers to dig in and go get the quarterback on second and long and on third down. That's what we want to do. So stopping the run means that we play on our terms. Running the ball means the offense plays on their terms. When we're on defense, we don't want to play on the offense's terms. We want to play on our terms. If we can't stop the run, then we can't play on our terms. And that's how important it is.
How's the New York experience been so far for you, as far as just like non-football question, when you're out and about, how people are greeting you? I don't know if it's ultra New York-ish, or is there something else you haven't done so far that you plan on doing in the city?
Great question, Josie. See, you know me well, so I knew the second part was the answer. We did go out to dinner at Keen's Steakhouse, and they were great, and we went to the Knicks game one night, and it was amazing. The fans were awesome. I mean, it was unbelievable to walk in there, and the number of Giants fans that were in there, and they were yelling and screaming and going crazy and coming down and high-fiving. And then I got to meet Spike Lee. I met Spike Lee. I mean, so many just amazing people. I mean, Michael Strahan was down there. He's a super mega star, and I've gotten to know him. But it's a really cool environment. It's really exciting. It's fun, and maybe one day, we'll get a chance to enjoy it a little more.
There you go.
Along those lines, what's been the continued dialogue with ownership? John's obviously got health challenges. Steve's kind of transitioning his role. What's that ongoing dialogue been like?
Well, it's just been about football, really. I mean, the ongoing dialogue has been about the things that we're doing, the moves we're making. John's been very involved in everything we do. Chris has been very involved in everything we do. We have a really good, I think, line of communication. The way we're operating is really natural, normal. It's exactly what we talked about from the beginning. So I think it's working really well, and I feel great about it.
John, when it comes to the draft, specifically in the first round, what is your appetite for looking at the options of possibly trading back a little bit, still getting a player, but adding more picks and assets versus just getting your guy?
No, it's the opportunity as it presents itself. So we definitely would be interested in that. I think there's no way you could ever say, oh, no, we would never do that. I mean, there might be a player you'd never trade away from. That's part of the strategy, and you've got to kind of work the math out on all that. I believe Joe will do an amazing job with his staff of figuring out exactly what the details are of what it would take to trade away from each person in each scenario for our team. And we'll talk about that, probably finalize that in a day or two or three before the draft, and just have that ready, and we'll know what we're willing to do and what we're not willing to do, and that'll be our plan going forward. Then you just gotta, it's like, and I've heard Eric and Steve say it all the time, Ozzie say it, and then you look at the phone, as your time comes up, sometimes it rings, sometimes it doesn't, so we'll see what happens.
Unparalleled is obviously a tremendous player, right? I wonder where you stand with, the Giants have been through this before with Saquon and the positional value of running back taking that high, it's a rookie investment. What do you think about that? I mean, you come from a coaching side, right? Where you're saying this is a great player, but then there's also a business side. So how do you make sense of that? Yeah, I mean,
I think you recognize all that, but the business is football. We are a football business. That's what we do, and we're trying to make our fans happy. We want to win games. We want to be successful. We want them to come out to the stadium and be happy after the game and be celebrating. And to do that, we've got to build the very best team we can. So you build the best team you can with the best players you can get. And you put them out there and you let them play. So that's where it starts.
You agree with my assessment that he's a very good player?
Yes, I do. Yes, I'd probably put very, very good player. Put a couple varies in front of that, maybe a couple more. He's really good.
John, the Max Crosby situation, I was just curious your reaction to that, and secondly, just your thoughts on kind of how that process works, and if you think it's effective, I guess.
I just gave you the answer that you're going to expect, because I have given that very little thought. I think it's part of football. Trades are trades, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. That's how it goes.
Has the draft process that you were so involved in for so long in one place, is it different with the Giants? Is there certain things that you like different, or you wanted to implement, or you said that's pretty good? You know what I'm saying? They're not, everything doesn't run the exact same way.
No, of course not. And I think there's a way of doing things, and I'm really interested in the things that are the same and the things that are different. And that's kind of what I'm learning as we go. It's not like we've sat down and we've laid out the whole draft process and we've had this big conversation. Should we do it this way or that? We've just talked about, hey, this is how. What if we operate this way? This is how the meetings will look. And I might be like, yeah, well, okay, and then we'll talk about that, and this makes sense, and I like that. But really, it's just living through it more than anything. I think the Giants, what I've seen, they have a great process. I love the way we're operating, and I'm looking forward to, playing it through.
The Ravens analytics team is just recognized by its peers. I'm wondering why they're so respected and what they meant to you while you were there.
Yeah, I just love those guys. Those guys are great guys to work with every single day. It's kind of throughout the organization. It's kind of divided up in different areas, and they did everything they could to help us on the football side. They were great on the draft side, on the cap side. Just a good bunch of people, and they deserve it. That's awesome.
Let's take 3 more if you have them.
What's your thoughts on? So you're going to be in West Virginia for training camp.
Yeah.
Right? So what are your thoughts on getting away from the facility and his plans for joint practices?
We're talking about that. Matter of fact, I had a conversation just walking in here about joint practices with one of the coaches. We'll have at least one for sure. We may have 2 joint practices, each 1 day apiece. The first and second game will be what we'll be shooting for. That'd be a plus for us. We'll probably play our guys in the preseason a little bit. Most of the guys, not everybody, but it's a pretty young team, so we'll probably play those guys to some degree and try to get ready for the start of the regular season. As far as Greenbrier, we're looking forward to it. It was pretty determined. It was a determined thing when I was in the process of interviewing that was a real possibility and almost really going to happen. That's kind of what I understood. And they just asked me what I thought of it, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I was excited about it. But they got the different things going on in the area there around MetLife Stadium with the World Cup. We've got a facility rebuild they're doing, and it just made a lot of sense. So. But also, I'm thinking, wow, this is an opportunity for a young team with a new staff to spend, 10, 12 days together in West Virginia, in the hills, and just be about football for 10, 12 days together and eat dinner together and have an off day together and all the things that you kind of do to just bond and get to know each other. So if it can help our team become a little, closer, I think that's a good thing, too.
A lot of teams have gotten away from that. Obviously, it's financial reasons for it, logistical reasons. Do you think teams miss that?
I think there's part of that you miss, yeah. I mean, I see all the reasons for getting away from it, and it makes a lot of sense. But it's also, there's something about it that's really a helpful part of it, too. So that's kind of probably why I'm excited about seeing how it goes, and trying it.
Last one.
John, how important was it for you to get former guys, former Ravens come up and come up with you?
Well, I mean, I'm just really happy with those guys, Jameis, and I think those guys are great guys, and there were different specific players. It was really just like all the different players, all the free agents. I mean, we knew about all the guys and who we were going to have an opportunity for, and it turned out that we had an opportunity for those guys, and you can clearly see how they're going to fit in what we're trying to do because we knew them so well. And I was really bolstered too by the fact that these are guys, and we didn't like come in there and say, hey, we want this guy or that guy, we got to have him. It's a conversation with the Giants personnel people, and where do you rank all these players? And these guys were ranked in a wheelhouse for us, and they ended up being in the right spot financially for us. So they fit us. Plus, we knew them really well. So, it's important. Every single one of those signings we had, I think 16 players that we brought in. I mean, to me, they're all critically important. I'm excited about every one of those guys that we're bringing in, including the guys that we re-signed that were on our team before. That's probably the most important part of it. So, all really important.
How much is it an added bonus that those guys can help build your culture, right? They know what you want. They know what you expect. They can, whisper to other guys, hey, this is kind of how we do things around here.
Yeah, I think it's part of it. I mean, certainly that. I'm sure the guys. I mean, a lot of the Giants players are. I pretty much every Giants player I've talked to says, "Yeah, I've been asking around about you. I talked to so and so and so and so and so and so, and so far, I can tell you this: it's been 100% positive. Everything they've told me has been 100% positive. So, they'll be able to say, "Hey, here's what's he saying? What's he doing? What's the plan? Where's this going? How does this end up?" Those guys will be able to share, hey, this is what he's talking about here, and that's got to be a good thing.